Okay, so now the story part of this show. So this is kind of the most disappointing part of the movie. We talked about the horror and how good that was, and it was honestly very good. But we do need to start getting into some more of the downsides of this movie. I would say the horror part, and even a little bit. So my main my main criticism of this movie is that it didn't focus on the island. So when I watched the trailer, I was assuming that number one, it was gonna focus all on the island where they all the people were at. Number two, I thought that the island was the last remnants of humanity. So the trailer made it seem like it's kind of like this is what became of humanity, what was left of humanity after, cuz like if you remember in 20 weeks, 28 weeks later, I'm pretty sure there was an outbreak. So there was an outbreak in the and like inside the place where the people were supposed to be safe. So, and like if the virus continues to evolve, obviously that's going to create large problems for the humans that are left alive. So I was thinking that this island was literally the last little remnants of human beings left. And that's not true. Not only does it not focus on the island, but also there's a whole modern world. So the part that is it gives a little bit of a blurb at the beginning about what happened basically, and the zombies were contained to this one spot, and basically the only living remnants left of the humans from the containment area were what went to the island. So there's a whole modern world. So remember how I was talking about earlier about Eric, about how he's a kind of comedy character. Er, not only do they again we start out with bows and arrows and crap, and then we go to people who have they have actual guns, they have gear, they have the helmets with the lights on, they have tactical gear. And like it was kind of whiplash in a way because I was focused on the people who had were fighting zombies with bows and arrows, dude. And then we get to a part where Spike, his mom, and Eric are basically taking a rest. They're taking a rest from walking. And Eric has a phone, and Spike doesn't know what it is. And there's this whole comedy bit where Spike's like, "What is this? What is this?" And he's like, "Oh, it's a phone. You don't have a phone, blah, blah, blah." And like, and Eric shows a picture to Spike of Eric's girlfriend, and Spike's like, "Why does she look like that?" And she's basically like Botoxed all to hell and shit like that. And Spike's like, "Oh, we have a girl that's like that. She gets that way when she eats shellfish." And he's like, "No, no, no." It's this whole comedy bit, and it was funny, but it's one of those things where it's like it's funny, but at what cost? Like we haven't had like any sliver of comedy leading up to this, like none. Like, like I can't think of a single moment where there was like a joke or there was a moment that was like comedy based. There wasn't one. Like the only bit is where Spike and his mom are in a like broken down cathedral taking sleeping, you know, and Spike's mom is kind of like messing with him a little bit, like she's kind of playing with him, and they're making faces at each other, but it's like that's not comedy for the audience. It's comedy for the actual characters, which there is a difference. There's a difference between comedy in the movie for the characters and comedy for the audience. And the comedy when between Spike and his mom is very much comedy for the characters. Spike's laughing, his mom's laughing. She's like, "Is your dad ever funny like this? My dad was funny, and you'd have your dad's eyes." All this kind of stuff. Eric's comedy with Spike is much more targeted to the audience, making it funny that like he has this girlfriend that's like this supermodel babe who's totally doesn't look, I mean, I hate to say it, but she does not look natural. And Spike's like, "Why does she look like that?" And like this whole thing. But it's just like, why is there comedy here? Like, there's this whole thing. Um, and the one of the things that I don't like about this is that this whole thing is based on the fact that Spike is sheltered from the modern world. He doesn't know what a phone is. He doesn't know that women look like this or that this is a desired look. All he's seen is women, natural women who like, cuz they grow up on this very secluded island. I do not like the introduction that there is actually a modern world out there. Like I said, I was expecting this island to be literally the last remnants of humankind. Like, I didn't think that there was gonna be. It's kind of cringe that I said humankind. We like to say people kind. Anyways, the last remnants of mankind. Like, so there's like, this is. I thought that was the last. And then we get this. Sorry, that was my bad. We get this whole part where we get the humor is based on modern society, and I don't like that. I don't like that there's modern society out there. It kind of takes it away from me the what was kind of, I hate to say what was promised in the trailer, but in a way that's what I was thinking. I was so hyped up. And I know headcanons are not real, but like I was they put so much emphasis on the island. There's this island, there's people there, there's zombies. The zombies are trying. So what I thought was going to happen basically was that it was going to focus on the island and that they were going to be safe on the island, but after Spike and his dad go out into the wilderness, they accidentally bring a zombie back. So the I was thinking that either the dad was going to get infected, which would have been a nice callback to 28 weeks later. The dad gets infected in that movie, but, like, I thought someone was gonna get infected and the island would be at stake, which would have put the stakes way higher because it would have been like, "This is the last remnants of mankind right here. These are the last people that are not zombified." And, like, no. We in fact, after Spike takes his mom out, we never see anything of the island again, except for the last bit where Spike sends the human baby back to them, and Spike's dad's like, "Where did you go?" We don't get the island again. So, and again, it is just it sucks because in the trailer, at least in the trailer that I saw, there's two trailers, and the second trailer had a little bit more of like where you can see the modern people. There's a bit more of like, oh, there's it shows more of the soldiers and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, okay, but like I just thought maybe they got that gear from those are remnants of the past kind of gear or something like that. Um, yeah, I thought it was gonna focus more on the island, like, they focus on the watchtower and everything, like, this is, like, the most dopest setting for a zombie movie, like, you're on an island, you're secluded, water's all around, there's nowhere to go, and then zombies the infection spreads to the island somehow by an accident between Spike and his dad, and they have to kill all the zombies without getting infected and killing off the last of the humans, like, that would've been so cool. Instead, we get this plot of Spike wanting to heal his mom. And like that's all good and well, but it's just kind of meh. It's just kind of a mess storyline. It's like you're telling me that we have zombies and I'll get more to this later when I get to the characters, but and I have a whole part on the thing, but like I just didn't like I did not I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't care for the story. I didn't care for Spike's mom. I didn't care for the whole "remember the dead" thing. I didn't care about that. All I cared about was the culture that has been cultivated, I guess, on the island. The island was the thing because in the trailer, we also saw these, like, cool pages in the schoolhouse of, like, um, uh, what you do for your chores, your job, and on the island. Like my mom said, my mom was thinking there was gonna be some kind of cult that was on the island, which explains, like, the mask thing that we saw. And that, by the way, that never comes up. But for those who haven't seen the movie, that's never explained. Um, yeah, it's never explained. There's like it's just a mask that they have. It's never explained what that is, and there's no cult in it. There's a cult maybe at the end, but there is very little. There's no cult in it or anything. There's nothing. So that's kind of disappointing. And again, it just doesn't it focuses more on Spike trying to heal his mother and this whole respect the dead, remember the dead kind of thing, which like is a great message, but not for a zombie movie. Like the whole thing about zombies is that they surpass death. Like 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 I have to kind of like retort just a little bit because I'm not 100% sure if the rage virus in this specific 28 years later, 28 days later story, like this universe, if it's just a virus or if they actually do come back from the dead. I can't remember. But either way, it's like don't aren't they dead? Like they're already dead. Like the whole thing of respecting the dead and remembering the dead is kind of moot when the dead are walking around. Like it's kind of weird. Um and so I just didn't like that. I wish the story had been contained much more to the island is basically my big thing. I wanted to know more about the people. I wanted to know more about what it was like living there. You could have this whole thing where perhaps the island is like this whole cheery stuff and like especially with the song too, the song that they used in it was really good and my mom it sent shivers up her spine. She was like, I wish that this she had wished that the song had been incorporated more into the movie. And I do too, honestly. I wish that the song had been something, that creepy song from the trailer. And we were thinking that again, it was gonna be the zombies were gonna be like this paradise. This island was gonna be like this paradise, far away from any zombies or anything. But then there's this cult that maybe they worship the zombies, or maybe they sacrifice people to the zombies, or something like that, which could explain the skulls, the masks, and stuff, and like the chores on the island that people have to do. It's a very controlled environment because when you put people in a small environment, there's going to be a pecking order, right? There's this whole thing and that just didn't happen. We get a storyline that is basically, um, they are trying to cure his mom because they don't have modern medicine. They're going to find this doctor and that's it. So, I did not really care for that. So let's get on to the next one. That's basically all I had to say about the story. It was just meh. Like, it was just meh. Like, there's just all I can say. There just really wasn't a lot there, so meh on the story.